Okay, so here's your movie. I'll send you this file. I had to do a couple things to make it work right. So I got rid of your buttons, except that replay. I'm going to have to probably get rid of that too, but because your buttons aren't right. So I'm going to show you how to do those first, okay? And then you can create your buttons. So the first thing we're going to do is create a, make sure I'm in Flash here, new symbol, okay? And a new symbol, uh, we're going to create a button, and I'm going to make this next button. Doesn't really matter what you call it here. This is what it's going to end up in the library once you create it. Don't worry about any advanced features. You don't need that. When you click OK, you're going to see that here's your scene right here, and here's your button canvas. Okay, so you have two things here, really. Now, in the upstate, I'm going to create, I'm going to go over here to the drawing tools and just create a box. Okay, and so that's going to be the button, and then I need some text on there, so I'm just going to go to the text tool and click the button and go next. And I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to go to properties. This is where I'll be able to set all that, and I'm just going to make it a little bit larger, and I'm going to make it white. That. Okay, now you'll see that in your button you have 4 states: up, over, down, and hit. You got to have something in this hit state or it's not going to work. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy what I have here over to the over state by just right clicking and inserting a keyframe. Basically that copies everything from this frame over to that frame. And I'm going to do it again. So insert keyframe and insert keyframe. Now if I want it to change color when it goes to the over state, which is a mouse over, when I mouse over it's going to change color. Then I'll change it to this color right here. The down state is what it looks like when it's clicked, and I'll make that a red. And then the hit state is invisible, so it really doesn't matter. So that's what it's going to look like on the stage. When I mouse over, it's going to look like that. When I click down, it's going to look like that. When I click it, it's got to have an active area, and that's the hit state. Okay, so that's my next button. I'm going to go ahead and save as I go. All right, so how does this work? Well, let's take a look here in your library. There it is right now. I just created that. Okay, yours. Actually, that's an older one I created. I'm going to get rid of that one. So that's the button I just created, and we'll use that. Now you're going to need 2 other buttons. You're going to need a previous, as I saw you had in your movie, and a replay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this button so I don't have to go back and redo all that, and I'm going to call this, instead of next, I'm going to call it prev. So it's previous. Click OK, and there it is there. Okay. The only problem is it says next, so I'm just going to double click to go into the editing window here. And here you're going to see it's exactly the same as my next button, so but I can't have that, so I just double clicked and I'm in the previous canvas. And here's my scene still. So remember, we have 2 things going on. We have the button here, and then we'll go back to the scene once we get our buttons done. And then I'm just going to go in and just call this previous. Go here. I'm going to do it in all the states. Previous. Here, previous. Now in the hit state doesn't really matter, but I'm going to just go ahead and do it anyways. So. Alright, so that's our previous button. You can see now, if I play it, you can see that it now has all the states, and if I look back at my next button, it's ready to go. Alright, so you're going to create your buttons for next and previous, and then the next one you're going to create, I'm going to duplicate that button, and I'm going to call this one replay. Really, it's best to use all lowercase on these names. So there we go. Here's my replay button. That's your button, but I'm going to use mine, so I'm just going to go in. If I double click, you can see I'm in the replay button editing window. I'm going to call this replay. Replay. We're not attaching any scripts to these buttons. We do that in the timeline. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So now we have all our buttons ready to go. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you how to place them and then write the scripts. That's going to be the next video.